I'd like to now to call the order of the regular board meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. Tonight is Thursday, April 17th, 2025. The time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mary Beth, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bendy?
Here.
Commissioner Bowe?
Here.
Commissioner Halting?
Here.
Commissioner Leduc?
Here.
Commissioner Matza?
Here. Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Lori? No? All right, good. All right. Moving on to the approval of minutes. I move to approve the minutes from the March 20th, 2025 regular board meeting. Second. Thank you. Is there any discussion about the minutes? Seeing none. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Move on to the closed session minutes. Move to approve the minutes from the March 20th, 2025 closed session meeting as identified in Exhibit A and maintain these minutes in the closed meeting records of the Park Ridge Park District, finding good cause exists to maintain them as confidential.
Second.
Thank you, everyone. Is there any discussion about the closed minutes? No? Mary Beth, you want to call the roll?
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe? Yes. Commissioner Halting?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes. Now we'll move on to report of park officials. I did have something. Wanted to thank the community who had donated to the 12th annual Pedal for the Park Bike and Trike Exchange last Saturday. It was a beautiful day. There was a lot of people who came out, a lot of volunteers who had helped receive and clean the bikes. Look forward to another potentially record-breaking bike sale next weekend. In support of the parks, 100% of all those proceeds go back towards the park. I also wanted to congratulate the re-election of Commissioner Bendy, Commissioner Halting, and Commissioner Bowe, and newly elected Lori Mallon, who's in the crowd tonight, for the recent consolidated election. The crowd, yes, the crowd of one. Your continued dedication to the Park District is admirable, and I look forward to working with all of you in the next few years. Finally, I'd like to thank all the commissioners for the meetings they had with us and the executive director during the policy review last month. Policies are the foundation of a great organization, and our board has set some very ambitious long-term goals for the future. During the meeting, May 1st, we're going to be doing a lot of policy work, so just as a heads up for that, a lot of resolutions, a lot of amendments we're going through. That is all for my vice president report, and since our attorney is not here, we'll move on to the executive director.
Thank you. I was going to start off by talking about policies, so I will keep that brief by saying thank you for all your time with the board policy manual. An email was sent last night regarding the current changes and modifications made from the outcome of the one-on-one meetings. Please take a look at that policy manual and contact myself or Commissioner Matza with any questions. Again, our goal is to get this approved by May 1st at the May 1st meeting. I have been in contact with Lori Mallon, and so has Mary Beth Golden, to talk about her onboarding. We have a date set, and at that meeting, we will go over the newly approved board policy manual as well. So a lot coming on there. The one other thing I did want to point out, yesterday was the Farmers Market Commission meeting. I did attend the meeting, and so did Commissioner Bendy. At that meeting, they were supposed to talk about the 3 left locations for consideration, which was a Presbyterian church, Cortland and Butler, and then the off of Summit, an area off of Summit. Right off the gate, whatever, the Presbyterian church is no longer being considered. So that is out of the consideration. And then Farmer Market Commission, or Brenda Holcomb, did a really great presentation on the Summit area and the positives to that location compared to Cortland and Butler. They did not make any decision. They're still taking it into consideration. I did speak on behalf of the Park District and informed the commission about the letter that was sent from all 7 board members and our concerns again about Cortland and Butler location as it hinders Hodges Park. At the meeting, they did not give a specific date when they'll make a finalized decision, but they said it'd either be at the May meeting or the June meeting. And then afterwards, it will have to go to City Council for formal approval of the relocation for the 2026 Farmers Market. There were a lot of people in attendance. They were there for the Presbyterian Church because they had some issues with it, but unfortunately that one was no longer being considered. But we were in attendance. The next meeting is May. I forgot the date. It's escaping me, but it is May. I will send an email out to the rest of the board about the date of the next meeting. In regards to moving on, the staff have great things to talk about. There's a lot going on in the Park District. We had a lot of good events over the past weekend. Oakton's making progress, so they have a lot of things to talk about today, so I'm very excited for that. On a side note, I will be out of the office beginning tomorrow, and I will return during the bike sale next Saturday and Earth Day, but I will be accessible by email and phone if anybody needs to get a full hold of me. So thank you. Any questions? All right.
Thank you, Executive Director.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Marketing and Public Relations, Director Holler.
Thank you. My board report is on page 9. I'm just going to be quick with a few highlights. The summer brochure is going to be released on Monday, April 28th, and resident registration will open on Monday, May 5th. And also something we've worked on this past month is I worked with athletic supervisor Dehue and the baseball and soccer affiliates to expand our use of Statusfy, the field closure notices. So we're also working with the affiliates to get that word out about the system to all their players. So that's hopefully will expand usage and help with the summer closure notices too. I'm happy to take any other questions about my report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll move on to Human Resources.
Thank you. So as you can see, we have lots of recruitment going on from the normal summer seasonal hiring, which is going great, to a lot of full-time hiring from the couple positions we had added. There's just the trickle down as we fill the positions as there's some promotions and such. So that's really been exciting. And then one update from that is the athletic supervisor added position has been, that recruitment process has been completed. We're excited to announce that Megan McKay is going to be filling that role. She was our athletics intern over last summer, so we're really excited for that opportunity there. Megan McKay? Yes.
What did you do last summer?
Athletics intern.
Okay.
So we're really excited for that. And then also we're just gearing up for the summer. A lot of our supervisors attended the aquatics and camp risk management day with Paderma, a training they host annually, as well as continuing CPR and first aid training. So it's been a great jump start to the summer season as it comes up. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions? All right. Thank you very much. Yep. And now we'll move on to Finance, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Bendy.
Okay, thank you, Vice President. All right, let's turn it over to Superintendent Larson for Finance.
Sure. Thank you very much, everyone. My report begins on page 14, and I'd be happy to answer questions, but before that, I'm just going to mention a few things that have come up since the report. One is that we just received our purchasing card rebate for 2024. It's usually about the time we receive it. And the rebate this year was $5,136.49. Last year it was about $4,500. So that's really exciting that we're headed in the right direction. Another thing to mention is I have started working on budget. I worked on a, yay! And I worked on, started working on a timeline, started working on the draft memo for staff. So just going through my notes from last year, thinking through improvements, things we want to make maybe a little more efficient or different this year. Of course, as always, if you have anything that you want to share with me, I do have some notes from the commissioners from last year. But if you have anything that pops into your head, definitely let me know so we can incorporate it into our process for this year. And then as far as my report, I just wanted to highlight the area about recreation revenue. I talk about fees and admissions are about $32,000 higher than budgeted, $36,000 higher than prior year, and that's really due to the fitness center. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the fitness center. It's been really exciting seeing them not just go beyond where we were before the pandemic, but just really succeed, try new things, and I just think it's great. So yay! Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I had a question about the second paragraph. that the operating fund surplus decreased by $270,000 compared to the report presented at the March 20th meeting. So was that due to this transfer from the capital? I wasn't, the paragraph confused me.
Which paragraph are you?
The
talking-
second
Oh,
one in your
that,
report. the
yes,
second
that's due
bullet.
to the transfer. So
Okay.
what that is it's funding that has been paid by the capital fund for ADA improvements,
Mhm.
and we take it out of the capital fund and put it to the ADA tax levy fund.
Okay.
Which is in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
operating.
Yeah, yeah.
And capital's not part of operating, so,
Okay. Thanks.
sure, of course.
Any other questions? No? All right. Okay. Approval of account expenditure list. All right. I move to approve the payment of expenditures in the total amount of $2,456,580.82.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Any discussion? No? Okay. Can we have a roll call?
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Halting?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Mattson?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes. Okay. I will turn it over to Commissioner Leduc for recreation.
And I will turn it over to Superintendent Armour. Thank you very much. I am pleased to report that the Park District again received the $1,000 grant from IEPD to support the health, nutrition, and fitness at BTB. There's also the letter at the end of the packet in the communication and correspondence. And as already mentioned, Wildwood is really thrilled to welcome 2 new full-time team members who officially started this week. Well, one new to the district and one transitioning from part-time to full-time. There were several St. Patrick's Day events held throughout the month for all ages. Lots of fun things happening, both for the youth and the active adults. April 1st, we saw BTB registration, pool pass sales, pool pass rentals were made available, and the garden plot lottery all on April Fools. But luckily, I'm happy to report everything went smoothly, and the BTB wait lists have already been reduced further since this report was prepared. So as you know, it pretty much fluctuates every day, and the largest amount of wait lists are on those Wednesdays where we really don't like to fill the slots until we know we have staff. So that early dismissal is really tough. The Ascension Dance Team had another successful competition. They're having a great year so far. The Activity Center saw 22 memberships last month and had many exciting classes, trips, and events. The Fitness Center saw 87 new members and hired 2 new personal trainers very quickly after losing 2, which we were fortunate. Sometimes it takes quite a while to find replacements. So, we're on a roll with personal training, so I was happy that we found new team members pretty quickly. I also wanted to give recognition to the Fitness Center manager, Shuring, who passed the Certified Park and Recreation exam last month. So that's the second in the past year of the recreation team. So that's great and quite the accomplishment. Also wanted to recognize Supervisor Streff, who's been leading several engaging staff wellness initiatives in addition to, everything for the patrons. And that's part of the grant that we received from Padurma earlier this year. So she's been really doing a great job with that. The aquatics team is, of course, wrapping up some of the job fairs and full steam ahead with interviewing and hiring and all of the summer planning that goes along with opening and preparing the pools. And we already heard about Earth Day, but just a reminder, that's a week from Saturday from 11 to 3. Come out and keep your fingers crossed for a nice day.
That's at Main Park, correct?
At Main Park, yes.
And it's also the same day as the stage school production.
Busy.
Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, another busy weekend at the district.
All right. And anybody have any questions?
I went to the egg hunt, and that was a lot of fun. I think you ladies and gentlemen, you organized it very well. And everyone seemed happy with they were okay with the sustainable eggs, the wooden eggs. I think they were okay with that, so good for that. And yeah, so thank you for that. It was nice to see it.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, and Tuesday, 4:30 to 5:30 at Main Park, cleanup, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to clean up, bring your gloves. All right, thanks.
All right. If nobody has any other comments, we do have a motion. I move that the board approve Park Ridge Lacrosse as an affiliate of the Park Ridge Park District, subject to its compliance with the Park District affiliate guidelines.
Second.
Yes, I am pleased to recommend the Park Ridge Lacrosse as a new affiliate for the district. They've been a part of the Park District for several years, both as a renter and an independent contractor, as the group has expanded over the years. The organization has been established for about 5 years and have met all requirements to fulfill the affiliate status. And the president of the club had hoped to be here, but our meeting is going so fast and he was called to a game. So he's en route. He might be pulling in.
Be happy
any
to slow
minute.
everything down for you.
I know. I was like, everyone's giving a short report. Just gonna talk slower, but so he might be coming in at any minute. So he'd hopefully be here by 7:20, 7:30. So.
I did have a question about the affiliate. Do you know when they run their programs? Is it spring and fall, like soccer, or
Yeah.
can you give us a little
The
details on
fall-
like what fields they'd be using or utilizing?
They're going to use the fields that they currently use, and then also maybe expand more here at Prospect. Yes. So it just depends on how many players they have and how much further they expand. So there's been a little bit of shifting amongst the groups that Supervisor Dehu works with all of the affiliates based
Okay.
on
Make sure everyone has got a field and stuff.
field sizes, et cetera.
I know Centennial Park had some sort of like junior program going there. I think it was in the fall though, around time football and flag football. We're like trying to do stuff, the different lines on the fields and everything else.
Yeah, and it's great because over the years there's been so many programs that have come and gone, and there hasn't been strong leadership, in this area. So it's a group of families in town that started, and they're passionate about lacrosse and has kept it moving forward. So I think it'll be a great asset to have them as affiliate with this community.
What's the age range for the kids
The age range.
or grades, whatever,
Yeah, I think they do kindergarten through 8th.
Oh,
But
okay.
let me see if it's
Yeah,
in
that's
here.
what it says in the
Mhm.
application.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's two things that stand out. First off, the growth of that program just in the last few years, and then they also survived COVID, establishing themselves that year. So kudos to that group for continuing and having such great growth.
I've always had questions about affiliates, and since that dude isn't here, I can ask them. So it says all requirements have been met to fulfill affiliate status. So are the requirements these like bullet points on the top of the application?
Yes, generally. And then yearly, after they become an affiliate, they have to comply with this. And then also there's a participation fee that they give towards the fields.
So do they in terms of like feedback about the programs that the affiliates offer, they take care of that? Like we don't have any oversight with affiliates?
They're a separate organization, yes.
But staff does meet with them on a regular basis. I think you guys have like a post season meeting, right? You talk about
It depends on the group. Yes, we don't necessarily have a regular meeting, let's say garden club, but as things arise, if they have questions, either Mary Beth or I generally talk to the groups. Terry talks to the groups on a regular basis, depending on the affiliate. There's several of us that communicate with them.
I'm glad you guys keep in touch with a lot of them because I know on boards past there were affiliates that were more involved with the board sitting here now. And it seems like as time has passed, they've gone more and done their own thing, and they're still a benefit for the community. But most of the time, you guys handle all the work, and we don't hear from them a lot. So We appreciate all of the affiliates and any donation they do for, Linus or anything else. So.
Yeah, what's generally the difference between someone being a renter and affiliate? Like what are the advantages? Like what do they get?
They
And
get
what do we get by them being an affiliate?
we get their organization planning and
The
administering
things.
the program because we generally
The
would not,
registration.
we would not have the staff to be able to manage that. It would be many more full-time staff that we would need on board to manage those programs. And once they become an affiliate, they get a higher ranking on the field usage list over other renters and groups.
Okay.
I guess the example would be like basketball. We still do basketball in-house. There's not a
Yes.
basketball affiliate, right? And I know that program is big, and it's a lot for
It is.
Jim Dehue to put together and stuff.
Yes. And once they're an affiliate, they get more of our, they can be in our brochure, and we help them out with some marketing and, e-blasts if they, or social media if they ask, so we can assist them with different things that we wouldn't necessarily do for an outside group.
And I believe some of those organizations, like footballs, existed for 40 or 50 years, correct?
Or more.
Yeah, or more.
Yes. Oh, look, we've talked long.
Timing. Oh, no, through the other door.
I'm glad you were able to answer all of our questions today. Very,
Thank you.
very.
Good job prolonging. You can come
Oh,
on up.
we're actually on,
Yeah.
on the call, so good timing.
Yeah, you made it.
Well, I asked annoying questions just
You asked probing questions.
I was just like, stop by the practice very quickly. Actually, I was at Lake Forest for a game, so I'm out of voice right now because I was coaching my son and my team right now. So, but I guess quick introduction to myself. My name is Philip. I live in Park Ridge. I actually live by Franklin Elementary School, and I love the sport of lacrosse. I've been coaching since 2001. So, and we moved to Park Ridge. There was no program here. There was actually a for-profit program here, and my son played in it. And like, this is not best for this is not what's best for Park Ridge. So, me and a bunch of parents were like, hey, let's start our own program up. Start from the ground up. We started with the first year we did lacrosse. We had 77 kids in our program, and now we're about 240 kids in the program right now. It's been growing quite a bit, and actually the Maine South head coach is saying that he had his best freshman class ever there this year because of us. So, yeah, and we're a nonprofit. We are also a volunteer board, so I don't get a single penny for what I do, just the love of helping the area out overall. So, questions or anything else you want to know? Or
You just missed all the compliments and about the program. So,
thank you. Yeah.
But thanks for your dedication.
Thank you. Yeah, and I actually, as I stopped by the girls' practice, were out there. I don't know if you saw them out there just now. So that was last year's first year with the girls across.
And when is your season?
It's spring.
It's just spring?
Yeah, we do spring. We do a little bit in the fall, like more like once a week, maybe twice a week
Just to
stuff.
keep them in practice or something, yeah.
Practice, but we don't want to interfere with like our thoughts are if they want to do extra sports, there is travel across out there. I don't have the energy to do year round, honestly. I love it, but and also it's good for my son to get coached by someone else. But I also would think it's good for kids to play other sports. My son plays Park Ridge soccer, and a lot of kids play for Park Ridge football. I actually talked to Jim Toulon quite a bit. If you look at my references, Jim Toulon's one of them. Lynn, the president of hockey, Express Hockey, is on there too. Actually, I was just coaching her son in hockey just now. Coaching her son in lacrosse just now. So,
I'm glad you're here. I don't know if you remember, but we actually met back in 2021 on a flag football field. Subject came up. I was attempting the run for the board the first time, and you had mentioned lacrosse, and I had taken your name, and I was hopeful that you would end up making it. And it's been 4 years since then, but I'm glad that you and your community have done everything that needs to get done to get affiliate status. And I think this board is appreciative of the fact of the programming that you can offer the community, and hopefully you start a very productive relationship with the staff, and look forward to all the great events that you're going to put on and all the sports. And thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, we're at Maine South on Tuesday, and there was probably about 110 kids running around there for the game. And then this next Thursday, we'll be there for the girls' game against Libertyville for that. So, very exciting times.
Do they come from just Park Ridge or Niles or Des Plaines or where?
We're probably about, the numbers are in the file, and now you're asking me a question. I think it's about 65, 70% are Park Ridge, or just 64, right?
Yeah.
There'll be some Niles kids too.
Sure.
But then we have a handful of kids from Glenview, from Arlington Heights,
Oh.
from the city. But majority of the ones are actually from the city because like Edison Park doesn't have a program, anything like that. There is a program in the city itself, but it's closer to Montrose Beach, so I don't want kids going out there. But I think it's probably about a good percentage of kids go to Maine South in the end. Portion go to Notre Dame. We're affiliated with them too. And then like Loyola, Taft, other ones like that.
Mark of a good program is when you can
What's
get, I said a mark of a good program is when you can grab families and kids from other cities and bring them into your town. It's great.
Yeah, and I want to. I do like growing the sport, but we try to align with the local schools here to make sure that our kids are. It's helping the local high school, on that. Yeah, it was. We actually, for the U10s, which is 3rd and 4th grade, the one I'm coaching right now, we actually split them by schools. So we have like a Roosevelt team, we have a Washington team, with their mix with St. Paul a little bit, and then my Franklin team with a little bit of St. Juliana in there.
Well, welcome to the Park Ridge Park District family.
Welcome after the vote.
Yeah, let's go. Almost. Yeah.
Does anybody else?
Thanks for getting here, Philip.
I feel like I was gonna get attacked or
Thank you.
something. Thank you.
Do any other board members have any questions or comments before we vote? All right, seeing none, let's call the vote.
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Mr. Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe.
Yes.
Well, now we can say welcome.
Congratulations.
Very, very exciting.
And so thank you so much for coming here. And now we'll pass it on to Commissioner Bowe for Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you.
Thank you. This microphone works differently.
It does.
My report starts on page 46. I first want to just say how excited we are. I know Allison already covered the fact that we've brought Ron Jacobson on board, but he's been a great addition. The timing of everything, he showed up for 2 days of orientation with me before I went on vacation, and he jumped right in and took care of a lot of great things and just got, moving right away while I was on vacation last week. And so for me, that was amazing that he already, was able to do that within a few days and has developed a great relationship with his team and working with other recreation staff. So we're really excited to have him on our team and to see where we're going to get to take things going forward. I do want to highlight and point out that we did have our final numbers here that I mentioned I would have for our outdoor ice rinks. So this was a record year. I know of some places that were barely opened at all this past year, or only had a couple of days, which is kind of surprising considering how cold it was. But the way we break this down is we kind of look at the number of hours we put in to this in total, but then sometimes how many hours we're working on doing repairs versus just building it or taking it down, etc. So, or clearing snow if it snowed. So if there's any questions about those numbers totals, just let me know if it's confusing. I was trying to keep it as concise as possible. But then moving on, I just want to take a minute to highlight the fact that very exciting news with Oakton is that we did get the IDOT permit in hand this last week. So we are finally done with permitting on that project as we're coming to a close on it. And I'm sure you all are aware that we did have a very successful bid opening for the solar, and we have accepted a bid to put solar panels on the roof at Oakton. And so that's really a great and exciting thing. We anticipate that'll have a very positive impact on our overall budget for operating costs. But in addition, the price that we're working with, we have no expectations or needs built into it to get any grants, rebates, incentives. But of course, Lauren's working diligently at making sure that we can take any that might still be available for us. So she has already had a laundry list. She reached out and to talk to, and I've been involved in the emails where she's working with the specialist, the sustainability person from White, and just coordinating on which ones, Lauren's looking at. And she said those are the exact same ones that she would have suggested or identified. So Lauren definitely has her pulse on what's going on there and is continuing to work on that. So we're hopeful, but we understand that might not be an option. So we'll keep the board informed as any of those develop. That good number has also left enough room for us to complete the renovation of the mezzanine section of the facility. So that will be done, and they will be finishing that space as well. So that'll be used for additional programming space when it's completed. So we're kind of checking all the boxes as we're going along here. So, but that also means that since some of these boxes are getting checked off late, a few of these things are going to be like wrapping up at the last minute as we're finalizing. And a few of these things, such as the solar panels, will be getting installed after we've opened the building. So we do have a staging area, and we'll be working on how that's all going to work out so that it doesn't impact the use and operation of the facility. But, those are just some minor nuances of, the timing of how this worked and us making sure that we were being fiscally responsible to have the funds available to do these things, and when they came available, taking advantage of those opportunities versus putting it all out there and not necessarily being able to handle this. So,
And sorry,
Yes,
those
please.
solar panels are only for the new buildings, correct?
So the solar panels will be going on the studio rink, gets a few, and then on the new turf building. Those are the only buildings that are structurally sufficient to hold solar panels. So I couldn't get anybody to find comfort with putting them on the glue lamp structure that we have for the old ice rink. So that's something we could always explore further at another time. But even this we thought was going to be a stretch. But it was good that we took the few opportunities that we did a few years ago to jump on the lower steel prices that saved us several $100,000 on those buildings, but then spent the extra $40,000 to beef them up to make them solar panel ready, because we didn't have any anticipation of being able to afford it at the time. But having that foresight allowed us to do that, and just 1 year's worth of electrical savings will pay that 40,000 back in twofold probably. So, so we're excited that a lot of those things worked out.
You know the square footage, like is it 50% of the total site now, 40, 30, like, or
I don't know offhand. I can find that out for you though. Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's around.
I would say it's probably around 50%, but I don't know the number offhand. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anything is better than nothing, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that we've also started using Linus, which I mentioned, to line the soccer fields. I did put in the report, and I've had a couple of comments from the public, et cetera, just about staff and them being out in the fields and in the parks while Linus is in operation. We're still tweaking things, and we've talked with the team about staying focused on Linus to make sure, because we had to make a few minor adjustments to where the lines were, and that as we progress on, we have every expectation that, okay, now someone's keeping an eye on the robot, and other people, you guys are now doing stuff. So it's just, we're in a bit of a transitional stage, but we're, getting people noticing like, well, you got a staff or two just standing there watching a robot do work. That's not very efficient. We agree. That's not very efficient. That's not the long-term plan. So I just want to put that out in public space for everyone to hear. So, and then lastly, as part of the board report, well, I guess first I want to point out that I forgot to add my matrix this month because I was heading off on vacation. So I apologize. I'll put that in next month. But lastly, then I want to state that, we do have the sustainability plan at the end of my report. This was something that the Sustainability Committee worked very hard on. A lot of credit to, Lauren, obviously, who's been driving this, but it was driven by data and information from the staff, the board, the public. This is a comprehensive plan and a wish list of things that this whole community feels is important for sustainability in this, for the Park Ridge Park District. So I think it came together really nicely. And then it looks beautiful because of Margaret's team, and Sandra Locasio, who was also on our committee, who helped beautify this and make it to what the document is today. So hopefully you've had a chance to kind of look that over, but if not, please take a moment to look that over. Our expectation is that we're going to share that with the public, make them aware of it in a social media post tomorrow. And then we're working on communicating this with the team of staff throughout the next couple of weeks or months or so. So we're just coming up with a final plan on how we're going to do that.
Notice it's already up on the website.
See, there you go.
You have to click through district information, but it's there.
Yeah, so we'll just be sharing so the public knows it's there once we get through social media. So I think that's all for my report portion of this, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I think we can cut you some slack for not doing the matrix. But, enjoy your vacation. Just a comment about the resurfacing of the tennis courts. I reached out to Glenn, who does the Park Ridge mixed doubles tennis, and it was news to him on those dates, and they're working on the scheduling for it. So I don't know if there's any other affiliates that need to be told. Just be reminded.
No, we'll follow back up. I know we work closely with Jim Dehu, so we'll see where that miscommunication was for sure. But yeah, I will talk to my team and we'll reach out and talk to Glenn.
It's a little ways off, but
yeah, it might be based on known start dates because obviously there's zero time that works best for everybody. Because whenever there's good weather, people want to play, whether it's practice or whether it's matches or whatever. So it could just be that the dates he gave us were based on the known dates for the affiliate and when they have like regular matches or things planned versus just, kind of pickup games. So I'll follow up to make sure we have that covered next time around. So thank you.
I'm sure they're going to be thrilled I personally will be thrilled to play on those resurfaced courts.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's in a very important maintenance process to make sure that we keep those in good shape considering what they cost. So
yeah, agreed. Yep.
Thank you for the feedback though.
Okay.
I had a question about Linus. I was at Emerson watching a soccer game, and I didn't realize that it would be able to make something more than lines. So you guys can do circles, half moon, arch, dashes, all this stuff. So my question was, is it capable of doing a graphic? Like if you want like a logo, I see someone's eyebrows going up and down.
I plead the fifth.
We will look into that.
We don't need to look into that. I know that I can do that. So yeah, we can do that, but there are actually additional fees to help program the software because there's a few nuances to that, and maybe they might need a different tip because if you get down to a certain size, you might have to adjust that somehow. So we do know that that's a capability. No, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, it's broken. No, but in all seriousness, we are aware that it can do that. We wanted to make sure that we got out into the season, got it all done, and then thought we'd explore what options there were with that. So
yeah, I just had a thought like affiliates who do homecoming games,
Yes.
like football, like they might actually appreciate having some sort of thing on there, and it could be something later on, programming, all that other stuff. It got me thinking.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
no, thank you for thinking of that and sharing the idea.
I have some questions. How big is the solar array? Like how many like kilowatts or whatever have they said? Oh, sorry. How big is the solar array, Terry?
I don't remember offhand. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. I apologize. So
Okay. And I think you said something about like some sort of paying it back twice that. Like how much are we going to save a year in electricity?
So our most recent estimates that were completed on it were that we would save about $90,000 to $100,000 a year in electrical costs.
Not too shabby.
No, and that was before we had some knowledge of some price increases, so that might impact that
and
more.
How
but
much did we typically spend at Oakton,
the old
was-
Oakton, I'm not sure. It was. Do you remember the
Hundreds
budget
of
number off?
thousands?
Oh
I
yes, it's it's
Yeah. But I
hundreds of
can-
thousands
It's hundreds
for
of
sure.
thousands.
Yes,
My-
it is a lot.
Yeah, my recollection is that this would offset about a quarter of it. So
That's really nice.
yeah,
And then do we get paid for the racks?
I think that's part of what Lauren's going after and how
Okay.
that functions. So
Yeah.
yes,
So it's just it's about $100,000 a year just in the electricity
Correct.
offset, and then we might get some more.
mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Well, and we'll look into, like, once this is set up, we'll look into, wanna do community, sorry,
Yeah.
we're off. Include Oakton and community solar, because
For
that's,
the balance.
yeah, because we can't, we've held off on adding Oakton. and
Yeah.
community
No,
solar.
this is all great. You guys are doing great.
Thanks.
Mic drop.
This is really good.
Thank you.
Let's get the city in here. Sorry.
Anything else for
Baggage.
Terry? All right. Oh, by the way, Philip, we appreciate your time. We don't want you to feel like you'd hurt our feelings if you were to step out. We know you've had a long day with all your practices, so you can stay, but you won't hurt our feelings. All right.
Thank you, Philip.
All right, I move to approve the agreement with the Environmental Environments in an amount not to exceed $181,115.93 for the purchase of furniture for the Oakton Sports Complex, and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
Discussion?
This is something that the staff's been working on for a long time. This is part of and within our FF&E budget for Oakton. But if there are any specific questions, or if April has anything specifically she wants to cover, she's actually been the staff member that's been leading the charge for this area, and I know it's been a very long and lengthy, difficult process to select and work through all the furniture, it was just, on top of all the other construction, April was really great to step up and take care of this. So I will let her answer any questions that there might be.
I'd like to give a shout out to the whole rec department that was doing this. I can't tell you how many different color samples and textures of fabric we had in this building or throughout the time. April, you probably have hundreds of them, but I think they did a really great job. So I just want to give a huge shout out for the time that was spent on this. If you remember, we approved the agreement with White to assist with this back in July. So this is how long this has taken to make sure we got the right furniture that fits the building. So thank you, April, and to her staff for the time spent on this.
It was definitely a team effort. A lot of debate.
Oh, no.
Are there any tariffs on these things?
Yes.
Is this everything? Like that? Okay, no.
It's
This is
not everything.
this is stage one of.
Yeah, there's still additional tables and chairs from a different company, and some more refrigerators and coffee pots. So out of the FF&E, there's a lot of things that are still coming through.
Okay, but this is the first big set, and this covers the admin offices and the
Yes.
rec and the main.
Offices, chairs, the front desk. Yeah, a lot of different bits and pieces throughout the facility. The tables were just a different piece that we ended up going with a different company, especially once we added on the mezzanine, because that was something we hadn't had in the original budget. So we had to, some of the things they were proposing were extremely expensive.
I will say, so to clarify, we've already purchased and procured a lot of different FF&E as well. Like April just described, we have some that are forthcoming. There's also portions of this that are IT related that the IT team's been working on. So there's the overall budget for FF&E was in the neighborhood of like $1.2 million. So those are just other things that have come through that have either just been in small enough segments because of where we got them or how we procured them that they didn't need to come to the board, or, you know, it was IT related items or whatever it was. So, we have a very healthy budget for this, but it's a massive project in a big building.
Oh,
So.
I mean, you gotta do it in stages. If you did it all at once, you guys would.
Like, for example, scoreboards, you know, we approved the scoreboards a couple of weeks. That's part of the FF&E.
What does
So
FF&E stand for again?
furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Okay.
Going all the way back, like if you turn the building upside down and shake it, the stuff that falls out, that's on this list, so.
And I believe the concession area too, you had alluded to. We have to purchase some of that stuff as well.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the work.
Roll call.
Commissioner Leduc,
Aye.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Halting.
Yes.
All right, moving along. I move to approve Sager Sealant as the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $36,900 for the Centennial Aquatic Center Pool Deck Caulking Project, and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
Discussion?
So you have a board memo on page 70. This is just part of our overall budget to continue to keep up with maintenance over at the Aquatic Center. It's at that age. This is all the deck caulking, you know, that is the concrete deck joints started to fail last year, et cetera. So we had worked with a contractor to get a budget. Sager Sealant is actually the company that did the original job, has done the work on some of the pool expansion joint work that we've had recently, and they're an expert in the field, so we're very comfortable with them as a contractor. We've had very many successful projects with them over the past couple of years, so, and we're glad to see that the number came in as good as it did, as competitive.
Great, we've talked about this quite a bit over the last few months, so if there's any other discussion. All right, roll call.
Commissioner Matza,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Halting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc.
Aye.
And I'll turn it over to Commissioner Matza.
Thank you. For policy, I already alluded to this, but there's nothing for tonight, but our next meeting, we'll have our commissioner bylaws. We'll also have an HR policy that will need to be approved the same night. In addition to the policy, there are some changes that are coming out of, because of the approval of the policy, we have to fix some things. So it's gonna be busy for policy next meeting. But that concludes policy. Intergovernmental, Commissioner Tunnel's not here. I don't believe there's anything for intergovernmental. Executive Director covered Farmers Market, so I appreciate that. Thank you. We'll move on to communication and correspondences. Superintendent Ulmer already alluded to the Power Play grant letter. I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk any more about it or not. No, it's in the board packet. We've received this in the past, correct? Yes. You know, like 20 years, 5 years? Long time, right? Yeah, long time. And the money's going towards B2B, to replacement stuff, which is excellent. We don't have to get into the letter, but it is in the board packet tonight if anyone's interested in reading it. So then now we'll move on to new business. I'm going to make the motion first, and then I got some comments. I move to approve the First Amendment of the Executive Director's 2024 contract and to authorize the President to execute and deliver the amendment. I have a second. Thank you very much. President Grau isn't here tonight. She wasn't here and she isn't here. She did give me some something she wanted me to say. I'm gonna be reading this in the first person. So from President Grau, I am pleased to finally have Executive Director Shea's contract update on the agenda tonight. The board has decided, after a very thorough review process, to extend John's contract through April 28, 2028, and to increase his base salary to $171,600 and to award a $2,000 bonus. We are very pleased with how John immersed himself into all aspects of the district, especially coming up to speed on and managing the Oakton project, delivering into the finest detail, or devolving. Yeah. I'm sorry, Cindy, I screwed that up. Into the finest details of financials in both the district and the Oakton project, as well as getting to know our employees and immersing himself into our community. He has a very collaborative approach with the board, which we appreciate. He is a hands-on leader who is passionate about his job. Thank you, John, for your dedication to the district. We look forward to the upcoming year working with you. Are there any other comments for the about the amendment to the executive director or anything else?
Just want to comment that you've had a lot of challenges this past year, known and unknown, and we really appreciate the hard work and dedication you've put in.
Anyone else? I would just like to say, John, it's been a pleasure working with you this year. We've had a lot of fun playing email tag with policies and stuff in my role, but I think you've done an excellent job, and I look forward to working with you as well. Normally, we would have done this immediately after the review, but we were told by legal that we had to wait, and then we had canceled the meeting after that. So suspense. We didn't mean to delay executive director, but we appreciate your understanding with this, and we're finally getting down to it. So if there's no other comments, no? Mary Beth, you want to call a roll, please?
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Halting?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Yes.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Passes.
Can I interject real quick? Sorry, I wanted to wait to make a comment before it was approved. I just want to say thank you to all the board members. I want to say thank you to the board member for this opportunity. It's been a great year. I really can't believe how fast the time has flown by, knowing that May 1st is right around the corner. But I want to give a huge shout out to the entire staff, not just the ones that are here, but all of them that will watch this on YouTube. I think Ethan watches it a couple times, Julie, so hello. But I want to give a huge shout out to all of them for all their hard work. I know that leadership change is a struggle and difficult times, but I think we all worked well together to get to a point where a lot has gone through the last year. So huge shout out to all of them. The board, thank you for reading my novel Friday emails. I apologize if they get too long at times, but I appreciate all the support that you do provide for the Park District, and I look forward to the next few years. So thank you so much again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Executive Director. All right. I'll move to adjourn the meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. Second?
Second.
You guys want to hang out? No? All right. Any comments? No? All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? John's not here, so they say no. So meeting's adjourned. What were you writing?